Good evening and welcome to Thinking Re-envisioned. You're just seconds away from the unmatchable Henry G. Noel. Believe me, this is the tune-up your cognition has been waiting on. Here's Henry.
Hi, everybody. Again, please accept my apologies for the technical difficulties during the past several shows. It was initially a combination of internet company outages and a bad router on my side. So we got the internet back up and we have a new router. But then last night, Wirecast was the culprit. And so hopefully we are back. I'd like to thank my brother Wayne for all he has done to get this show back on the air. And I hope that you are ready to get back to questioning everything. So everything you have accepted as the truth up to now. So welcome to Transitional Radio, where you can mortal up with Brian Brody on All Natural Being, get your heads up on IPM Nation's weekly programming from Sneak Speaks on Sunday evenings at 7. Learn all about copy from Lee Rawley's Copy That Speaks, and get a little heady with me on Thinking Re-envisioned. So welcome to the 26th episode of Thinking Re-envisioned. I am Henry G. Noel, your host, where we are committed to making you think and making you question everything. I wish to thank you for joining me this Wednesday evening for, Thinking Re-envisioned. We have been talking about are we? What I mean by this is, who are we? Not our profession or our political or religious affiliation or who we were raised to be, but who are we? Considering we are the product of our upbringing and our belief systems, do we really believe we are living our lives, or are we living the lives of those who taught us? So tonight, I want to continue delving into what defines us as us. What I mean by that is, are we willing to question who we are? And are we willing to continue this journey of self-discovery and find out, who we really are? Or do we know others who could benefit from listening to the show? Or are we just ready to throw in the towel? It just all depends. I'm hoping that we will be able to continue our lively discussions on this most eye-opening subject matter. So I hope that you bear with us and participate. Now, we are live this evening from our uplink studio in beautiful Cuenca, Ecuador, 2 degrees south of the border, or south of the equator. Now, we're broadcasting live on IPMNation.com and Thinking Re-envisioned's Facebook and YouTube pages. At least I hope we are. I wish to thank all of our listeners from around the globe listening on the radio, those listening to our rebroadcasts, and you, our fly-on-the-wall video listeners, for, taking the time to tune in. I'd also like to thank our good friends at Wirecast for making it possible, on occasion, for us to be broadcasting both live and globally. So thank you to Wirecast. And again, a big thank you to my brother Wayne for managing all of what Brian and I are throwing at him to do. So thank you, bro. Appreciate it. So to all of our listeners who wish to participate in this show, please email me at henrygnoel.com. Henry at henrygnoel.com. It is my desire to present a show where everyone can be as actively involved as they want. Now, we trust that you've had an enjoyable Tuesday. Well, actually, it's Wednesday tonight. And I hope that this continues. So let's get into tonight's topic and see what everybody's going to think about this. Now, as an overview, this series is intended to open your eyes and provide some direction, and for the first time, introduce you to yourself. For those interested in making sense of their lives and wishing they could succeed in understanding the craziness of this world that we live in, this series will provide you the means to accomplish this. Now, its sole purpose is to present you with, necessary information and necessary knowledge crucial to your development, your journey, and your discovery of self. Understanding who you are and what you are about, and why you think the way you do, and why we react the way we do, and how your perceptions have been developed is paramount in discovering why you and the world are in such turmoil and conflict and confusion. Now, this understanding is critical in developing the actions required by us to remedy and change both ourselves and the world that we live in. This journey of discovery is purposely delineated to assist you, regardless of whether you are a novice to self exploration or have been studying for years. Now, we began this discussion last Tuesday when I posed the question, are we physical beings, energetic beings, or a combination of both? Now, the purpose was to get you to start thinking about the question, who are you? Then we got into the where life begins, at conception, at birth, or somewhere in between. The purpose that this was for to get you to think about your being here and the odds that you faced actually getting here. Last evening, after the technical issues kind of got solved, thanks to my brother, we did go on and we talked about our living our lives, or are we living someone else's life? And this was based on our learnings and the belief systems that we were taught and adopted from others. This was to get you thinking about, are you living your life or the life of those who taught you? Now, we also mentioned how we must begin relearning so we could re-envision our thinking. Hence the title of this show, Thinking Re-envisioned. Now, because we are the product of our upbringing, and therefore all of the belief systems we use to define ourselves, our religion, our politics, our education, careers, our fears, our hates, and discriminations, are from what we have been taught. If we were taught those belief systems, then we learned them, obviously, from someone else. And it is these belief systems of someone else's teachings we are using to define ourselves. So thus we are living their lives and not ours. Now, because this material and these concepts are quite abstract to the belief systems that we were raised with, and we find that you can find it confusing and perplexing and a bit contradictory to everything that you know. And we'll also find it challenging, and it's in its concept and its scope, beginning with actually this whole introduction. You will discover the material is blatantly in your face, and that it's meant to be that way. And the reason for this is our attention must be obtained if we're going to listen. So to gain our attention, we sometimes kind of require the aid of a 2x4. And I think we can just look at this whole introduction as pretty much a 2x4. So the journey to discover yourself, as fascinating as it will be, is going to force you to face yourself, and will at times make you mad, and it will test your fortitude to stick with it. Once you have succeeded going through all of this material, I guarantee you, you will have changed. You will know where to look for enlightenment and how to discover your true self, be in control of your own life, and never again be victimized by those who have been the authority and influential figures in our lives. So ask yourself these questions. Why is it we humans can never seem to get along? Why our normal human state seems to be that of fear, hatred, discrimination, and distrust. Why we so blindly trust and follow authority and influential figures who can't be trusted. What is in store for us if we continue to blindly go where humanity has already gone time and time again, and for some reason continues to want to go there? So it's up to you. What is it that you say? What do you think would be the correct path to follow, or the correct path to create? How do we stop our present course? Or do you believe the same as the masses do, that in spite of all of our learnings, we are living our own lives and no one has influenced us? Now it's your turn. Are we living our life or the life of those who taught us? Brian mentioned, you were dealt a hand, so why not play it your way? Well, let's think about that just for a second. You're going to use your upbringing and belief systems to play this hand that you were dealt. But all of this knowledge is from someone else. So how do you play this hand your way when the only information you have, the only knowledge you have, is someone else's? So who are you? That is my question. So let's get into the thread and say hi. Okay. Hi, Rita. Thank you, Rita. I'm glad that you're on. Hi, Candace. How good to see you. Good evening to you. Happy Wednesday. Jamie, thank you so much for joining. Are you live or Memorex? I am live, actually. Well, let me check. Yeah, I think I'm still live, but you never know with the technology nowadays. But it's me, Marcia. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Of course, my brother, I wouldn't be here without him. Well, I was actually with him yesterday, and still wasn't here. So we'll get that. Alice, hi. How are you? Candace, right back at you. John, thank you for joining. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. I missed you too, Marcia. Missed you too. It's so hard. This technology has really been frustrating. Wayne says hello everybody. Appreciate that too. Thank you, bro. Candace, did you see that post when aliens fly past Earth? They even lock their doors, and I bet they roll up the windows. It's yeah. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Jamie says energy is life. How many times have you walked by someone and felt the negative, almost tangible energy from the absolutely, Jamie? It happens all the time. It really does. Janet, thank you so much for joining. And you got it at the beginning of the show this time. Thank you, Janet. Appreciate it. You're not coming in, just 2 minutes left to go. So thank you and jump in the thread. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, Jamie, it happens all the time. Yep, Rita said it just like she said it. It's perfect. People are so bogged down on day-to-day stuff that they have no time for themselves, and they're existing and not living, and that's absolutely true. Let's see, and Janet's there. Yep, it's great to have you. Thank you so much. That's terrific. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that I really want you all to really begin to think about. That you know yes, our life is what we make of it, but the tools that we have to decide how we want to make it, we learn from somebody else. And so we end up adopting a lot of what everything that everybody tells us. And as we get older, so we read through some of that. We kind of critique it and we throw some of that stuff out and from our own experiences start replacing some of the stuff. But the problem is that most of our belief systems have been linked and tied to what we were taught. And so all of a sudden we see ourselves as whatever it was and however it was that we were taught. That's not who we are. It's simply not who we are. And if we could turn that clock back and go back to all of that in our present state and understand what it was like for us, we'd recognize and see those learnings happening to us as we grew up. So the whole objective here is to get you to really look at yourselves, to really take a good look and start discovering, stripping away the stuff that we use to define ourselves now, and start peeling it back until we can really start getting into who we really are. Because the decisions that we're making in our life right now, the decisions that we make, are somebody else's decisions. They're from them. They're from their teachings. They're from what we learned from them. And not much of it is from us. And so how do we really say that, I really do represent myself? Well, we represent something, but is it truly us? Or is us just simply the conglomeration and all of that collection of stuff we learned from somebody else? I mean, how many times have you made the comment to people, you sound just like your father, or you sound just like your mother? We've all made that comment. We've all heard it. We've been told that on many occasions. But I do remember saying that to many people. Wow, I knew your father or knew your mother, and you're just like them. So we really do adopt what we've been taught. My brother's shaking his head. No. We'll have to get his mug on screen one of these days, and I'll tell you what, that's my dad. It's fun. And I tease him about it all the time. Yeah, I said, 1 year old. I see that, bro. Thank you. So yeah, we really do. We adopt who our parents were. We do adopt that, and there's a lot of things that we do in our lives that are from that teachings, and we have to learn to recognize that. so that we don't go around thinking we're being us when in fact we're not. We're being somebody else. And it doesn't have to be just your parents, it can be anybody. Candace says, I know what I definitely don't want to be. Hard journey to unravel, like being stuck in a cobweb. It really is. It's very true, Candace. We surround ourselves with all of this stuff and never realizing we just buried who we are. I mean, we just covered it all up. Dallas, welcome. It's great to see your icon pop up. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday evening. Thank you. So we really do have to deal with the fact that who are we? I mean, that really is an important question. Who are you? I've gone through, and when I ask that question to people, I always get their profession. That's usually the first thing. Who are you? Oh, I'm Doctor So. No, 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 no. That's not what I want to know. That's not who you are. That's maybe what you do, but that's not who you are. Oh, well, I'm a Catholic. I'm a Protestant. No, that's your religion. That's got nothing to do with who you are. And they start to get frustrated. Um, and to me, it's a very simple question. Who are you? But most people don't know. They really don't know. I actually had one person come up to me one time and actually said, "Well, I'm sort of a combination of my mom and my dad." I went, "Wow, that's pretty cool." That was probably the most honest answer I think I had ever received. Was that, yeah, a combination of us. So at least they realized that that's who they were. So, it's really eye-opening to really go through and explain to yourself who you really are. Again, that's that my mirror thing. I know facing the mirror, looking in the mirror, there's nobody else in it. It's just you. And you get to really ask yourself those questions. Who really are you? Yeah, I know what you do. I know what you believe in. I know all of these belief systems, but that doesn't tell me who you really are. And I think that's what we have to understand because we can't fix ourselves. We can't change us until we know who we are. It's really very difficult to do. And to change the world, since we are a reflection of the world, as we change, that's the only way the world is going to change, or at least our perception of the world. And a large part of it is we see the world through our perceptions. Guess what? That have been taught to us. So this is why I say we have to understand and really know who it is that we are. And that's what this whole show is really about, is getting us to understand who we are. Because without that, there is no changing. There is no journey, for self-renewal or self-improvement. It cannot exist. Because if you don't know who the self is, what are you going to change? What is there to change? How many people say, "Oh, I don't have to change anything." They're probably right because they have no clue who they are. Nor do they have an idea of who they want to be because they're doing what they were taught to do. And that is what's so hard about life. And that's why it is so confusing and why it is so much in turmoil right now because everyone has adopted the beliefs, the the perceptions, the way of thinking that of the people that taught them. And whether it was from parents or teachers, as I said before, whether it's from politicians or religious leaders, we adopt what they believe. And therein lies the issue. And if a minister or a preacher or an imam or a rabbi gets up on the pulpit and starts preaching to you about what their interpretation is of the book with which that they hold their values to, if you don't agree with them, then why are you there? I mean, we have to question everything. We really do. And I mean everything. We have to question them. We have to question us. Because again, we don't know who we really are. We think we do. And I know before I started going through all of this, years ago, yeah, I thought I knew who I was. I was an aerospace engineer, no problem. No, former military. Yeah, I knew exactly who I was. That wasn't who I am. It has nothing to do with who I am. And it was a tough lesson to learn. It was extremely difficult to actually look in that mirror and face the honesty. And it was years, like I said, it was years of doing this in order to really come up with who in the world am I. Candace says, I told, don't look at someone's shell. No, in their soul. Absolutely. You can be beautiful on the outside, but yet be very ugly, be a very ugly person. You know, Candace, that's absolutely true. We do tend to carry ourselves in a manner, and and again, you can hide a lot of things. People can be very plastic and cover up a lot of their who they really are. Uh, but if you really can look, you really look inside someone, then you can see that. But the most important person that has to happen to is you. You're the most important one that has to do that. Taking a good look at yourself. What are you on the outside? What are you on the inside? How is it that we really want to be seen? How is it that we want to be remembered? How is it that we really see our life being lived? And then look at it and compare it to what we're actually doing. Are we really living the life we really wanted to live? Odds are we're not. And we're doing things, working at jobs we really don't want to do. Or we are, taking something in school, a subject in school, that's not what we really want to be. Or we don't agree totally with the minister or the preacher or the imam or the rabbi or whoever it is that they're preaching to. We won't agree. But we very quietly sit there and just keep it to ourselves. Okay, good enough. Thank you. And so, yeah, it's really very hard to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, except that I fall back on the fact that it's all from learning. We learned this stuff. So once we can accept it, once we can accept the fact that we have learned this, and we are acting out only what we have learned, only then can we really come to terms with the fact, wow, I think it's really time to change. I really think it's time to modify the way I do it. I'm tired of hating people, or I'm tired of being fearful of people. I'm tired of the judgment and the discrimination. I'm tired of the racism. Then it's time to do something, and it's time to correct it. You can't not going to change somebody else. All you can do is change yourself, and that is the most important person that you can actually deal with is yourself. Because if you can change it and see your perceptions change as you modify your perceptions, then it's amazing how different the world looks like. Really take a good look at it after you've gone through a process like this one to actually change who you really are and start giving yourself the life that you really do deserve. Everybody wants to be happy. Well, you are. You just don't know it because of all of this stuff that we carry. You want to be complete? Well, you are. You just don't see that you're complete because you have all of this emptiness that you carry around with you. You want to be content. Well, you are, but we don't see it. And when we're content and complete and happy, we don't fear and we don't hate. We don't discriminate. We don't distrust. All of that goes away. So if you have and feel any hatred, feel fear, you feel distrust, then there's work to be done on the happy, content, and complete side. Because if you are, which you are underneath all of this emptiness, you simply just haven't stripped away enough of emptiness to get to the happiness and the contentment. And you will. It really will happen. It's a lot. Like I said, it was years for me. And so it does work. It really does work. Rita says something that physical beauty is the only thing that gives them self. That's absolutely true. And man, there's a lot of plastic surgeons making a whole lot of money uh, fixing people to be perfect. You know, perfection doesn't exist. Never has. Nothing is. There's not a tree that's perfect. There's not a flower that's perfect. There's always a defect of some sort. We got to learn to look past all of that. It's not physical appearance. It's all in, and it's the essence of everything that we really have to focus on and really observe and see what goes on. So that's really true, Rita. Thank you for putting that up there. It's we strive and strive and strive for perfection. Well, good luck with that. It's just not going to happen. You can paint yourself whatever you want. You can have yourself surgically altered for whatever you want, but it's your perceptions that are off, and that is what's the problem. Oh, I hate my nose, or I hate my mouth, or I hate my that I don't have any cheekbones, or I don't have a chin. No, it's who you are. And then once we go through and we modify it, and we're not happy with that, we have something else, and then something else has got to be done. And it's all because we covered up that happiness, that completeness, and that contentment. We covered it up with all of the opposite, all of the unhappiness, all of the discontentment, and all of the incompleteness. And that's what we see, rather than peeling that all off and looking at who we are. And it's so hard. And I say it as matter of fact. And now where I'm at, yes, it is, but it's taken a long time to get here, to where you don't see the physical, you don't feel the physical. That's not what's important anymore. It's what's the heart saying? What is the energy saying? What is the communication I'm getting from body to body? What is it that I'm getting? And that's really what's important to me. Oops, we're down to about 3 minutes. Thank you, bro. Oh, wow. Time goes by when you're having fun. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Candace, let's see. Dallas says the social media sure doesn't help. No, Dallas, it does not. It feeds our ego. It feeds our ego. It feeds our ego. It feeds our ego. And our ego has all of those wants and has nothing to do with our needs. So thank you very much for that comment. You're absolutely right. Candace, if anyone sees me at Wally World, they won't know me. I just love it, Candace. You are too funny. That is so great. We really do, and we have it's the fact that we're here is fabulous. And so that's one of the things. I'm getting a note from my brother here. So let me see. What it is? Check it out. Get this one. There you go. Maybe where's the top of up? Okay, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, he's just reminding me to do this. And so again, anybody that wants to write to me, understand it's right here, right there. It's Henry at henrynoel.com. Please write me, and I really would appreciate it. So thank you. So you guys out there in Radio Land, that's what it is. Henry at henrynoel.com. And there it is. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And that's what it's all about. So write to me. If you got questions and you want to talk on the price, send me an email. I'll be happy to reply back. So I'm down to peace sign. We got the peace sign. Thank God the eyes are. I got to look at them, so I don't have to worry about the eyes. So again, thank you for joining me this evening. I really do appreciate that. And tomorrow we'll do the same thing. Um, and we'll just continue on from here. We'll cover some more stuff, but have questions. Think about this. And throw your questions in the thread tomorrow, or like I said, pop them in an email. Again, it's important. I love this two-way, and that's what I really want to continue to push it. So, Marcia, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Great program. We love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hado. Thank you for sitting there listening. I appreciate it. As soon as I saw the we, I said, you must be there. So thank you again, everybody. We will see you tomorrow, same time. And at least we hope. That's if the internet works. So thank you very much. Have a great evening. Hasta mañana.